Alrighty. Welcome to the Making Money Work for Regular People show. I am your humble host, Glenn, and today I'm going to be picking up from kind of from where I left off at the spend your money. Excuse me, spend your emergency fund or your down payment on your first home. I'm picking up from where that left off. But basically, this show is going to be a comparison between what you should do if you're buying a property, buying a house as an investor versus you buying your first property as a homeowner. And there's pros and cons to doing both. Um, if I could do things, have a redo as to what I did, when I bought my first home, um, I really don't know. Um, I mean, logic would tell me to do what I'm advising you to do, but I grew up in a single family home most of my childhood, and and I know it's like to live in an apartment too. And so it's a different living experience. And I was going to, I told the story before, but I'm going to tell it again. I was going to buy a two flat, but around 2016, 2017, I just couldn't find no good deals for two flats that made sense for where I was in my life and my budget and my circumstances. I'm gonna just kind of describe how I felt about where I was versus people who may have been observing at the time. And so at that time, I had about $20,000 in the bank. Um, but the danger with having money sitting in the bank is that the money is being lost slowly but surely, getting eaten away by inflation. And so the danger once you start getting your first, large sum of money, at that case, in my case, that was my emergency fund. The danger with that is having it sit in the bank and not doing anything, not working for you, not going towards an investment property. And so I was really gung ho about investing in a two flat at that time, but I think my mother put the roots on me because she told because she also has expertise in this in on these matters, and she felt like I should buy a single family house first, and I did not want to do that because I wanted the benefit of having a tenant pay my mortgage. So I wanted to you know I wanted to just get started with investment property and kind of just ride that lane out. Um, but after having been through a few bad deals and having to walk away from some bad deals that I got myself involved in that I didn't realize were bad deals due to my inexperience. Um, I decided to I decided to just go ahead and purchase a single family house. It wasn't my first option or my initial intent, but at that time there were deals out here in the south suburbs, um, near my mom, of course. In fact, I live about 5 minutes away from my mom. Um, but anyway, there were better deals out here at that time than the two flats that were in the city that were on the MLS at that time. And so I decided to buy this house, and this is like one of the bedrooms that I kind of converted to a work from home office. And so I decided to just go about doing that. But if I could do it all over and I were buying strictly as an investor, with some, of course I'm going to live in it, then I would go ahead and buy a two flat. I would just wait as long as possible until I bought a two flat, instead of being anxious to just get into something. Now, I can't say that my ultimate decision to just go ahead and buy a single family first didn't work out for me, because it worked out very well for me. I bought it for a list price of 52,000. I put about 46 into it, or 45 into it. Yeah, I think it was 40. Put 40,000 to it, and then of course with the fees and everything, that brought my including the renovation costs, that brought my mortgage principal up to $97,000. So technically, it's like I bought it for 97,000, but with all the renovation done. Well, I had gotten this house, got my house appraised a couple months ago in November, and that's about 3 months ago now. So I got it appraised in November, and it appraised out at $156,000. And of course, 2 months later, my neighbor's property, which is just right over there, on the side of my house. It's kind of weird because like I have a corner lot, and yet her house is on the corner itself. Um, it was listed for $199, $100,099, and you know, right now it's on contract. So I'm just waiting to see what the final selling price will be once that contract closes. But going back to me, of course, and there's a reason why I mentioned that. Why I mentioned her house. So as of November 2021, my house appraised at $156,000, which is how much is that? That's 50. Let me just get my handy dandy calculator. And And now I feel like I'm, getting ready to make a mid infomercial announcement. Hi, my name is Glenn, and I bought my house in Richmond Park in 2018. And ever since then, I've seen significant appreciation. And guess what? You can too. Oh shoot, let me stop being silly. So, okay, so I praised at 156,000 recently, and I never refinanced the house. So so that's gonna be minus the 97,000 that was the final purchase price for this house, including the renovation loan and all those renovations. And so that's so it totaled out to $59,000 in equity, total equity. Okay, I could probably pull out about 30,000, or even a little bit more if I get a HELOC. So that's fine. But the reason I mentioned a neighbor down the street is because she has a similar house to mine. Of course, she has a half bathroom more than I do. My house is 4 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms. Hers is 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. So very comparable house, and no one really cares about bathrooms, not really anyway, as it relates to the appraisal. I mean, I expect her house to praise more than mine because she did recent renovations on it and upgrades on it before selling it. But you know, at the same time, I have the benefit of a 3 year, 3 year old, well, yeah, about 3 year old renovation. So, my property's still in good shape. I don't have a bunch of kids beating up the place. And and plus, I just, I do the best I can to, keep it in good repair. I'm not, I try not to let things, linger, because it just gets worse over time, so so this is my primary home, right? So I got 59,000 in equity, but because a comparable house is selling for 199, and I don't know, just because it was listed at 199 doesn't mean that that's where it's going to close at. But I'm expecting that house to close at, more than 156,000, which that comp, now that's going to be used as a comp because now that's the comp that's closest to my house. Now that should bring the property value of my house even further up. Okay. And so I'm thinking if it sells at the full 199, I should be, on a bad day at about 185. And so if I get to 185 before I take any action as far as refinancing or anything like that, minus 97. And, now that's, 88,000 in equity. Yeah. 88,000 in equity. Now mama's cooking. Oh man, I better stay away from that expression. I don't want Kwame Brown to come after me. I don't want no smoke. I ain't I ain't built for that. But anyway, so now you see how you got an idea of how big the returns can get, on real estate. And I'm going into the fourth year of home ownership here, at this residence. Um, I bought it in August of 2018, so I still got about 6 more months to go before I reach that fourth year. So, you know, that's an amazing number to potentially gain 88,000 in equity in just 4 years. That's insane. That's insane. That's so if you want to, look at it from a list price perspective, um, I don't even know what percentage that is of 52,000. I mean, but it has to be over 100% and closer to 200% return. Of course, if you want to use a 97 figure because I put some money into it, because I, include the cost of renovation in my loan instead of paying out of pocket. Um, that's close to 100% return on a $97,000 mortgage principal. That is excuse my language, but that is insane. That is insane. And so, um, I'm kind of pausing, not because I'm nervous, but because I just realized that I done got so off my initial target um, of a topic that I'm gonna have to just record another video. And I'm realizing that, so I'm gonna have to name it something else. But whatever the case may be, that's a good return. And so that's why um, I don't regret buying this house. Please realize I got extraordinarily lucky because I bought the house at the right time, right before real estate boom. Like and like please note that with real estate is very local, and so yeah, the market was already hot in Chicago in 2018, but that wasn't necessarily the case so much here in Richmond Park. You know, home prices were stagnant, and so when I saw that this house was 52,000, I'm like, well, the average sale in my subdivision was like going for like 110, 120 because there was a lot of foreclosures over here, at various points, so a lot of, the average price was weighed down by some of these vacant houses that were selling. But, homeowners like myself were picking them up and now there's nothing over here that's vacant, at least not that I know of. I might be missing maybe one or two vacant homes that's in this neighborhood or whatever. But so now everything that sells over here now, for the most part, sells for retail. And so I wasn't really sure, that I was making the right decision. although I was buying this property about 48,000 under retail, but I knew it was going to, take some time for, appreciation to kick in and everything. I just didn't think it would appreciate this fast. Okay. Just being very transparent, very honest with you about that. And I felt like I didn't make such a savvy deal, but I did because Chicago was heating up, and even though there's a lot of people who moved out of Chicago, there's also a lot of people who are moving back to Chicago, to the city. Even though a lot of shootings occur in some parts of the city, believe it or not, those parts of the city is actually seeing the most growth. Like Inglewood, still, I would consider that still a neighborhood where you can find deals, but the deals ain't so good no more. Like they're selling frame two flats that are complete gut projects for a minimum of like $100,000. So if you don't know a good wholesaler right now to pick up an investment property, you're gonna be paying $100,000 for a project that's gonna need another 150. And don't let it be a Greystone. That's another 100. So that's 250. And the Greystones, don't get me wrong, the Greystones are very valuable. They're very beautiful. But they are expensive as F to renovate those properties. So, so there's really no deal, despite the fact that Inglewood is a very challenging neighborhood, and West Inglewood is a very challenging neighborhood. That doesn't equate to cheap. Crime does not equate to cheap anymore. Okay? So I want you to remember that as well. So my point being is get the best house you can for the, it falls within your price range, and go from there. Because if you're depending on an area being hood, so-called hood, for it to generate a cheap price, then you're gonna be very disappointed, because that's how much this market has gone up. So, but if I could do it all over again, I would get a two flat that's similar to the one I own. That had some challenges, but like the property itself was in good shape. The bones were good, and the biggest challenges was the remnants of the previous owner, who was just a complete slumlord, and roaches and mice. So it was an icky rehab. It was a disgusting rehab, but it wasn't necessarily an expensive one. Just had to get the previous tenants out, and just clean up that mess and make it pretty again, and also make it safe and habitable again. So, that's where I was. So I'm trying to think of a name for this video, because I done got so off track. But other than that, if you still got value from the information in this video, please like and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like it. Tell your friend to like it. Tell your mama to like it. And I'll see you next time.